And away we go. Nightcap brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill, www.galacticfriedchicken.com for everything Galactic, including delivery right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Or head down to Dayton, Kentucky, see our good friend Shane and his entire crew Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. The patio is open. Tell them to pump it up and save yourself 15% off of the Galactic goodness. It is out of this world. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. It is a Thursday nightcap. I will be in Louisville tomorrow, Aaron, so nothing tomorrow. Maybe I'll be home at some point Saturday, but you probably got baseball.
Yeah, we got baseball pretty much all day. We got 3 games between the 2 kids. And then driving to mom's. So for Mother's Day weekend,
we're driving back from Louisville tomorrow or Saturday night. So we'll try to get something in Sunday, but it's Mother's Day. Not that matters to me. We'll try to get something in Sunday. But if not, we might just take a break until we're live for 10 hours on Monday. Remember, Monday, Cincy Reigns, UC Athletics, Bearcat Journal, the collab, the 10-hour live stream, John Cunningham, Scott Satterfield, Wes Miller, Katrina Merriweather, Molly Alvey, working on more, Brian Fox, John Cunningham. I said John Cunningham. It's going to be loaded. We'll have some football players. I don't know if the basketball guys are in town.
It's going to be jam-packed.
We're going to be. It's going to be all the Bearcats you can handle on 513 day.
Never a dull moment.
Oh, and all the boys are kind of going to be lurking around all day. Me, you, Brent, Keegan, Dave, Royer. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. So make sure you're planning your Monday with us. Like I said, you're going to have a wide variety of time to check us out. I think Scott Satterfield at night, John Cunningham in the afternoon, and then everything else is kind of filling in between. So make sure you are making your plans to join us all day Monday. Aaron, a couple football commits today. As we started with cornerback Jordan Robinson. He originally started at Livingstone College in Salisbury, North Carolina, and then transferred to Kentucky last year. Played a little bit at Kentucky, had 13 tackles, couple pass breakups. Did have one start, missed a little bit of the start of the season with an injury. But it's funny, he had a very similar stat line to an old friend at Kentucky. JQ Hardaway. Both played in 13 games. Both had one start. JQ had a couple more tackles, but very similar. I think the most impressive thing when you talk about Robinson, 6'4", 193. If he can play corner at all.
You know what's funny to me about all of that is the fact that if JQ had stayed here, he probably would have started more than one game last year. But
yeah, he probably would have started all of them. Or most all of them.
Just saying.
And now the trade with Kentucky is complete.
Player to be named later
has now been named. But great size. I'm not going to pretend to know a ton about him, but looks to fit the bill in terms of one of the things we talked about in this spring window was that they wanted to add some depth in that cornerback room, and Jordan Robinson kind of fits that bill.
2 years of eligibility. At this point in the game, if you're able to pluck somebody out of the transfer portal that is able to compete right away, maybe not necessarily win the job, but it is at least able to compete right away, all for it. And if you got 2 years eligibility, I think that's back to what they were looking for more often than not in the transfer portal. And I think that's nothing but a good thing.
Yeah. And then the other commit, big boy, Southeast Missouri transfer Harris Adams. He played in 12 games for SEMO last year, 18 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack. The tape to watch, and Dave has posted about this on the board. They played Kansas State. Kansas State had a second round pick on their offensive line in Cooper Beebe. Adams very much held his own in that matchup. So, as Dave said, never really moved off the spot. Didn't really end up on the ground. They're pretty stout. Another guy with 2 years. They're pretty stout right up front with Corleone and Hunt. But those 2 guys are probably in their last year, and Adams can come in, work behind them, and be ready going forward. So kind of essentially a de facto replacement for Derek Stewart. No, Shepard. Derek Shepard.
Yeah.
Who moved on.
Again, you mentioned the 2 years of eligibility, and love to see that, and the fact that he can learn what being a Bearcat is all about by maybe, I don't know that there's anybody on this team who exemplifies what being a Bearcat is all about more so than Dante Corleone.
Right.
I think that's a great thing, and hopefully he can pass the torch to Harris Adams here, who, again, like you said, 6 foot. I think he's listed as 6 foot 320. Just looks like a massive human. So that's a good thing to have in your defensive trenches there.
What I really want to talk about, Aaron?
I don't.
Ex-NBA star Big Baby Davis jailed over fraudulent burger ban. What is that about? I want to talk about that.
I don't know. We don't do that show.
Look, if you would have clicked on that, I would have been afraid what would have come up, but I would have done 10 minutes on whatever that was about.
I don't know.
I don't either. But I would have done 10 minutes on it. I'll tell you that much right now.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, very. Oh boy. Let's move you over. What do you got?
I got a couple things here, and we'll start here. Yesterday, there was an article from the Associated Press that congressmen propose a new bill, because that's what they do, and it would legally protect the NCAA. It is called the Protect the Ball Act, sponsored by Representatives Russell Fry, a Republican from South Carolina, and Barry Moore, a Republican from Alabama, which I guess that's probably the least surprising thing of all of this, is that it is a bill coming out of Alabama and South Carolina that they want to essentially make it so that the NCAA is protected from the ongoing legal actions against them for the NIL reparations, I guess, from going 5 years back before NIL was allowed to be a thing. I think it was 5 years. But I don't know. This screams to me that you have people trying to cover for the people. It's money covering money to me. And
yeah, I mean, it's the NCAA has been trying for this for a long time. They have tried
to win anything.
They've been trying to get, they don't see. That's the thing. They don't want to win anything. They just want Congress to pass it so that they will stop losing. Like that's what this all is all about, is they want to put safeguards in place so that they can no longer be sued and lose. What they want Congress to do is basically make the NCAA bylaws like effective, like actual laws, where they can't be challenged.
This particular bill would also allow the association and conferences to regulate things like recruiting, eligibility standards, and the way college athletes are compensated for.
Yeah, that's what they want, to put a stop to the lawsuits. They want to not be able to be challenged in a court of law. This is never going to happen.
To me,
it is never going to happen.
To me, the grossest thing about all of this is the fact that former Oklahoma State softball player Morgan Wynn, who also served as co-chair of the NCAA's Student Athlete Advisory Committee, said that it is imperative we reach a uniform standard of rules around competition soon. And I'm really pleased to see that our congressional engagement efforts are being heard and action is being taken. And I think that's a slap in the face to all of the student athletes that are still student athletes. You're on the other side, and now it screams to me that you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth.
She is. Here's the thing. I think we would all like a common ground to be reached. But we would all like a common ground to be reached while the players have representation, not unilaterally by the NCAA, where they take away any opportunity for representation and also any opportunity to challenge the NCAA. Like, this is all a Travis Shamockery. It's ridiculous. Like, you're not getting the toothpaste back in the tube. We are moving in the exact opposite direction. Everything that's happening is moving right, and this wants to go left.
I probably would have gone the other way on the directions, just given who's representing the bill.
I don't give a shit about politics.
I just for the joke, I would have done that. However, I think the only thing that stands to reason for this being probably much ado about nothing is the fact that at least 7 bills have been introduced, some merely as discussional drafts by lawmakers in both the House and Senate since 2020, but none have gained any traction. I don't expect this to be, I would hope not, that this won't go anywhere. I don't expect it to go anywhere, and I hope that it's, again, just a big nothing burger.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to continue. The representatives will continue to pander to the presidents and the leadership at universities that want this.
Well, especially the ones that are the ones that are connected to the state by funding, especially because
that's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Like, so they are going to pander to their constituents when it's really not. It's just the power trying to protect the power. And I don't see any way that it ever, in this form, I can see a way that congressional reform at some point could be accomplished, where there is a set standard for like what's happening, but it's not going to be able to be with just one side represented. It's not going to be able to be, what the universities want it to be, which is essentially, we don't have to ever make them employees. They can't sue us. We are back in a position where we're above reproach that has gotten far, far away from the powers that be.
I guess I would just hope that if you appealed it, be upheld by the same Supreme Court that has ruled in the favor of the student athletes over and over and over. I'm going to pull an audible on you and give you this article here as well before we get to the last one. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, alcoholic beverage sponsors Arizona Bowl. Any thoughts here?
This is the bowl game that last year was sponsored by Barstool Sports.
Correct.
So they are going for internet clout. They are good. They are aiming for that space that's going to get them clicks, that's going to get them conversation, that's going to, they want to go viral, essentially.
Well,
and
at the end of the day,
there's no better way to go viral than the Gin and Juice Bowl.
There can only be one Pop-Tart Bowl, right?
Right.
And I don't know that even with Jerry Seinfeld doing a Pop-Tart movie that tried to capitalize on the popularization of the Pop-Tart Bowl, I don't know that you're even going to catch lightning in that bottle twice for the Pop-Tart Bowl.
I don't know that the Pop-Tart Bowl matters next year. They've done it. We have seen, like, they're going to have to come up with an entire new set of tricks. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know how much you used to watch like American Idol or whatever. You have that one person that they come out and they do like their one song, and then they make it through to the next round, and then they come out in the next round and they have nothing. They just had that.
Well, because they
one
try
song.
to do the same thing for a different song that doesn't match up. You can't.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the road I think the Pop-Tart Bowl is heading. But look, man, if you're gonna get Snoop and Dre at halftime,
or even their friends,
you've already won. You've already won. If you just get Snoop and Dre at halftime.
I'm telling you what, I hope, me personally,
you want to go, don't you?
No. I mean, if we got into that bowl, sure, I'm going. What I'm getting at though is I hope this is now a playable experience on the game.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
What can we do to make, even if it's like a paid add-on, like $5 to add on the Arizona Bowl, Gin and Juice Bowl?
This bowl season, you're going to have a newborn and a toddler. You are not going.
Well,
even if you wanted to.
It'll be, the baby will be, we'll get there. In any case, in the last article I want to get to, it's probably the shortest of them. NCAA approves waiver allowing schools unlimited official visits in basketball. It seems that the blanket waiver is going to be for both men's and women's basketball, and it's largely due to roster depletions, and these teams need to be able to put a roster back together because you're seeing the transfer portal pretty much go bananas.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a 2-year rolling number of official visits that you had, and it just continued to roll over. And if you ran out, you could replenish when the new calendar year started, but you were still limited because you had used over or whatever. Look, it doesn't matter anymore. If you want to pay to bring a kid on a visit, like the other thing that changed, Aaron, is kids used to only be able to take 5 official visits. Now they can take as many as they want.
Sure.
So if the kids can take as many visits as they want, a change was going to have to be made on preventing schools from only bringing so many kids in. For most places, I don't think this is going to change anything. I do think you're right for the places that are experiencing 6, 7, 8 roster spots opening every year, which Cincinnati did for 4 years in a row. It gets to be a numbers game. So yeah, I don't think it's much of I don't think it's much of a splash, but it was kind of necessary given the development of where things are headed.
The blanket waiver may turn into legislation if 2 pending legislative proposals are adopted by the D1 Council in June. The idea was that each team that can determine how many official visits are necessary to maintain its basketball roster from year to year. And that does come courtesy of Nicole Auerbach of The Athletic. So I do want to give credit where credit is due. But that's pretty much all the news articles that I could find in the last 2 days. That's how busy we are that we are even talking about official visits.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long summer. It's gonna be a long summer. We'll see you either Sunday or, if nothing else, we'll see you all damn day on Monday. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!